Have you ever paid attention to how children look at their parents? Now, I pay attention to it because I have an 8-year-old daughter who, at this moment in time, idolizes everything that I do. She watches me very closely and she thinks very highly of me. That might change here later on, but for now, she thinks really highly of me. And I think that as children, we all felt this way about our parents. You know, they were superheroes. It didn't matter what was going on in their lives. It didn't matter what they did. Didn't matter how society labeled them. They were awesome to us. When I was a child, my mother was very much the same way, and she was one of the most awesome tennis players ever. You know, the way that you guys probably look at and think about Venus and Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova, she was that way in my child mind because she was so awesome. Eventually, she taught me how to play tennis, and when she did, I surprisingly was pretty good. You know, I could hit the ball all the time. You know, I got to a place where I understood the rules of tennis. But my biggest problem was that sometimes when I hit the ball, it would go out of control. It would fly over the fence. It would go into the other people's court. If I did that to you, I am really sorry. But the bottom line is that I just had a difficult time with getting it to the other side of the court. And I began to get really, really frustrated. And what my mother did was she told me not to worry about it. She said, you are 99% of the way there. The fact that you can hit that ball consistently every time means that you are 99% of the way there. You know, and I'm thinking in my head, like, are you crazy? The ball's going over there and hitting the other guy in the head. That's not a good look. That's not the way that you get to greatness the way that you are. And she explained to me what she meant. She said, when you hit the ball, all you have to do in order to control where it gets to on the other side of the tennis court is just change the angle slightly. Just slightly change the angle a little bit to the left or the right, up or down, and you can control with precision and accuracy where that ball hits on the other side of the court. Isn't that powerful? Think about that. No matter where you are, you can control where you want to be by simply changing the angle just a little bit. Now apply that to your life, apply it to your business, apply it to your marketing. It doesn't matter what your goals are, and it doesn't matter where you are. The road to getting there is pretty easy because all you have to do is go in a consistent direction, but change your angle a little bit at a time to get there. Powerful example. Another example of these small changes is plastic surgery. Plastic surgeons, when the field started to become extremely popular, plastic surgeons studied the face. They studied the faces of very, very attractive people like yourself, and they studied the faces of ordinary looking people to try and understand what it was that made attractive people attractive and ordinary people ordinary. What was the big difference? And what they found was that the difference between ordinary people and attractive people was very, very small. Almost a milliliter. I'm sorry, almost a millimeter. I always mess that word up. It's almost a millimeter of difference. If you take the nose over a millimeter, or the eyes closer together a millimeter, or move the mouth down a millimeter, those small changes make the difference in someone feeling as if they're more attractive. That's the difference between me being me and being a Halle Berry. You know, it's just 1 millimeter of change. What this means for your business, what this means for your marketing, what this means for your life is that no matter what your goal is and where your goal is and how big your goal is and how big of a disparity there is between where you are right now, your current state, and your desired state, it doesn't matter because you're only separated by 1 millimeter. You're only 1 millimeter away from success. Remember that. Take that and hold it in your mind, hold it in your heart. You're always closer than you think you are. Another example of this is flying. Flying from New York City. When you fly from New York City and your goal is to get to Los Angeles, the difference between landing on the sandy, sunny beaches of Los Angeles and enjoying yourself and landing somewhere in another country across the border in Mexico is just 1 degree of difference. 1 degree. Can you believe that? 1 degree at New York City, 1 degree of difference can change the trajectory of your flight. 1 degree. And when you think about it like this, you can see how easy it is for people to get off track. You know, sometimes we look around, we're well intentioned when we embark upon our goals. You know, we really want to make it. We really want to do some wonderful things. And we're clear in terms of what our goal is. But as we get closer and closer to our goal, we get farther and farther away. We get off track. And that's when you think about that New York to Los Angeles example, you really see how easy it is for you to get farther away from your goals, even though you're moving forward and you're moving and you're making momentum and making progress, but you're moving farther away because you're off just by 1 degree. But what I want you guys to remember from this example is that where you are right now and where you want to be is only a matter of 1 degree at a time. Okay, so all you have to do is redirect yourself in your business, redirect yourself in your life, redirect yourself in your marketing, in terms of your marketing, redirect your marketing activities just 1 degree at a time, and it just gets you back on track. 1 degree. So 1 angle, 1 degree, 1 millimeter, all of those things are what separate you from your goals. And when you think about it like that, things are not really that difficult, are they? One final example is televisions, TVs. TVs, the way they make it these days is nothing compared to the way that they made it when I was a child or when I was young. I don't want to show my age here, but TVs were not these lightweight things that you could pick up with your pinky finger and tuck neatly away against some wall somewhere when I was little. TVs were big and they were bulky and they were kind of cumbersome. They were on the floor. A console television was on the floor, and it was a magnet for your toes. Every time you passed by it, your toes would get stubbed. But TVs required the use of an antenna. You didn't have digital cable. You didn't have all of those modern conveniences, but you would have to have rabbit ears at the top of your TV in order to make it work. And in order to get clear reception, you would have to move around the antennas. You would have to take it and move it slightly to the left, slightly to the right, not very big movements, just very small movements to get where you want to be. And if you take that example and you apply it to your business, you apply it to your life, you apply it to your marketing, what that means is that you might have a fuzzy picture right now. You might have an idea in your head of what your goal is and where you want to be, but the difference between that fuzzy picture and a very clear picture of where you want to be is just moving around the rabbit ears ever so slightly. You can get there. So all of those examples, I tell you just to reiterate the fact that you are closer to your goals than you actually think you are. I think many small business owners and many people in general really discount where they are in their life and really discount where they are in their business and how close they are to their goals. And I just want to encourage you to really anytime you start to get discouraged and anytime that goal just seems so far off that you can't see it and you can't see yourself getting there, you can't even see the path to get there, just remember that if you apply yourself, if you keep moving forward, if you keep that momentum and you move forward in a consistent direction and you change along the way ever so slightly, just 1 degree, 1 millimeter, 1 angle at a time, the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be is very, very small.